An update now to a story we first told you about last night. Parents say they weren't told about a controversial change in grading policy at the Atlanta schools.
On top of that, they say the new policy is wrong and could actually hurt students.
I'm back. 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 I told you I was coming back. Hey, I was coming back. Hey, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I told you I was coming back. Hey, I told you I was coming back. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Regina Soul Section 8 Hood channel, baby. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. I just want to talk about what's going on down here in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't even want to beat around the bush about it or none of that, y'all. Because, it's crazy stuff happening back to back to back. But this time, this is something serious when it comes to our kids, you guys. Now, they Atlanta Public Schools, Atlanta Public Schools, in which there are a lot of schools in Atlanta Public Schools. So this consists of elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, you guys. Now, what they done decided to do was make it a no-zero grading system, which means if your child gets a 0, then they won't get a 0. Actually, they'll get 50. They would get 50% versus a 0. So, what this means is if a child doesn't do an assignment, they still will get 50. Now, what's so puzzling about this is the teachers didn't even know nothing about this until Monday that just passed. The parents don't know nothing about it unless they watch the news. That's the only way. They didn't send out a memo, they didn't send out a text, they didn't send no paper home showing that this is what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? They haven't talked about it in the meetings, when they have the parent-teacher meeting. Do they even have the PTA meeting anymore? But they haven't discussed this with the parents. And like I said, the teachers just found out about this Monday. So you mean to tell me students that go ahead and complete the assignments, do everything that they need to do to complete the assignments and turn the assignments in, are challenged with the kids, the students that don't do the assignment at all. So you mean to tell me this what we doing now? Because it looks like to me overall that you're just trying to pass these kids on the loan. So let me just break it down like a math problem, because some of y'all, woo. But anyway, it's like this. Brian is doing math at 30%, and he's in the 4th grade. So instead of Brian getting the grade that is deserved to him, Brian will get a 50%. So they just saying anything that's under 50% will be raised to 50%. It'll be a 50. You understand what I'm saying? Versus the student deserved a 30. Now, Brian don't know how to do math, and Brian in the 4th grade finna be going on ahead to the 5th grade and still don't know how to do the math. But y'all moving them on along. So when they get out here in this world, they don't understand how to count. You know, math come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And that's one of the things out of two that you definitely need to know when you leave and graduate from these schools. Now, they even want the teachers to go back in their roll books. Listen now. Atlanta Public Schools is telling the teachers to go back in their roll book. And all the zeros make them a 50. What are we doing? APS probably don't even know what they doing, because that got to be the dumbest decision that they ever made. You know, that's just like you telling these teachers to go in the roll book and change the actual grade. You feel what I'm saying? But about 9-10 years ago, y'all say Atlanta Public School teachers were changing the test scores, and these motherfuckers, they had to go to court, jail, and do some time. So what's the difference? Like the lady say, y'all sprung this on these parents. And if I was these parents, next semester, I pull my kids up out of Atlanta Public Schools. They ain't teaching them shit anyway. And the shit that they teaching them is very complicated to the kids. They ain't even teaching regular math, 2 plus 2 in this motherfucker. They'll put 2 plus 2, and we know 2 plus 2 equals 4. But they want the kids to go over here and say 2 equals 1 plus 1. 2 equals 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. What the fuck? And Atlanta Public Schools are the only ones that's doing this. And I'm like, what are we doing? So now, check this out about the teachers. You want the teachers to go back. You want the teachers to go back and change the zeros to 50, right? Okay, that's a form of cheating. And when you decide in the future to fire these teachers because they was cheating on your behalf, they go try to get another job in another county, in another city, or in another state, and they got this on their record, so they not able to teach. And they gonna go ahead and do it, change the zeros to 50, because they gotta keep a job. They gotta pay bills and shit. So I keep asking, what are we doing? Like, y'all parents, grab your kids up out of them schools when that semester ends. Already be looking for somewhere. Send your kids to these private schools. You ain't got no money to afford it. They got grants and shit. Get in touch with the CAPS people. They pay for them private schools, them academies and shit. Cadency. Send your kids to schools like that where they love the kids, where they gonna teach the kids what they need to know to be an better adult when they get out here in this world. Got my incense going, you know. Because as of right now, APS ain't doing a goddamn thing. And when I tell you they're not doing anything, and they ain't been doing that for a while now. But taking these kids and these parents' money for these extracurricular activities, they want $1,400, $2,000, and all of this going on. But that's another subject at hand. But yeah, They even got people up in high places that's trying to figure out what the fuck going on. You better take your kids up out of Atlanta Public Schools. That's all I got to tell you, baby. So put your kids in KIPP Academy. You know why KIPP Academy got a long waiting list? Because these folk pulled their kids up out of Atlanta Public Schools. Start putting your kids in these academies. Because, baby, shit getting a little bit too deep around here when it comes to these kids' education. You know, I'm an advocate of the kids. And I'm so glad my kids are grown and they don't have to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people move from where they live so their kids can have better schooling. Y'all need to think about that. Like, for real, though. You need to goddamn send these kids to a school where there are different races and shit of that nature. Because they gonna teach them, baby. If I was the parents, I'd be down there protesting. I'd be down there protesting in front of Atlanta Public School building. Because, baby, y'all should have voted. Y'all should have voted. This should have been on the ballots. You feel what I'm saying? You should have let the public, the parents, and the people know before you made this decision. Sitting around here talking about you ain't made the decision yet. That ain't what the teacher's saying. That ain't what the principal's saying. That ain't what the employees and shit saying at the schools. So who telling the truth and who lying? So with that being said, I'm going to show y'all this little clip.
Atlanta, Morse.
Well, what they're saying is it would be bad for a student who hasn't mastered the subject and could get passed along when these new scores are averaged in overall. They also say it's unfair for the students who do not slack off and actually do the work.
And they snuck it in so nobody would know because it's not something that any of the parents would sign up for.
Teachers conference or anything about that.
Yeah.
So we weren't aware of it.
Parents whose children attend a public school in Atlanta are upset over a new grading policy.
They're only worried about the numbers. It's not about the students at all. And the bigger problem with that is, what is Johnny actually going to be able to do when he passes on to the next grade? And fundamentally, he can't even start with the basic, simple things because he wasn't able to pass it. That is a terrible idea.
The idea, which Fox 5 first told you about Wednesday, is for teachers to stop marking zeros on assignments and tests and replace those grades with a new minimum score of 50.
Let's say it's reading. If they're reading at a 30% and you've raised it to a 50%, that's not helping that student at all.
Why, the parents asked, were they not told about a significant policy decision? APS teachers just learned about it Monday when their principals briefed them, including a directive to go back and change old grades to the new minimum score.
As we can recall correctly, when the teachers went to prison for changing test scores and everything like that. So to me, what's the difference?
Verdelia Turner represents the Atlanta teachers.
If a student does not complete an assignment, why are you saying that they did with 50%?
And it's going to be unfair to the students that actually do the work and all the work for that one student that doesn't do anything or skips a couple assignments to just get that boosted grade.
Now, there's a statement from downtown saying a final decision has not been made. However, that is not what the written directive says. No indecision in that directive. And that's not what the teachers are being told. So parents, some confusion at APS. We'll stay on top of it and try to figure out exactly what they're going to do and when will they tell the parents. From Northeast Atlanta, I'm Morse Diggs.
Now, have you ever heard of such a thing? I never heard of nothing like this in my life. And I'm 57 years old. You know, it's so crazy. So check this out. They took the Bible out of the school. So a lot of kids, they don't know nothing about church and what's going on with the Bible no more because they don't go to church. You know what I'm saying? They fucked around and took PE out the schools. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people started complaining. You know, it's a lot of obesity and shit going on. So they kind of throwed it back in there. But them kids, they don't have PE every day. Like when we was in school, they used to send our ass outside every day for about 45 minutes to an hour with some kind of activity or free play. Then they fucked around, and at my grandson's school, they fucked around and say they don't do sight words no more. Sight words. If they don't do sight words no more, sight words require the definition, what the word mean, how it's spelled, putting them in alphabetical order. So if they don't do that, how they gonna know how to read? You feel what I'm saying? They taking all this out the school. So what the fuck? And then you want to do this virtual learning thing. You know, they kind of back on that shit. They preparing the kids to do virtual learning. Man, the kids was already dumb. You know, and let's just be honest. They going to make them dumber and dumber. These kids need hands-on hand learning. They don't need to be looking at the teacher on the computer. She relaxed. She got on her motherfucking pajama pants and her thought flops, and she got on a blazer. She don't really want to be there. And doing the virtual learning, they have about goddamn 4-5 breaks in school out. I'm for real, y'all. I'm for real. I even advise my children, take your kids out of Atlanta public schools. Man, I used to work in the cafeteria as a cafeteria monitor, and I could write a book about it, baby. Take them up out of there, because they ain't teaching them shit. And then you got to think, and you got to see with your own eyes and realize Atlanta Public Schools is the schools for the people that are low income. Now, they done build up around a few of the Atlanta public schools where rich people live, but Atlanta public schools overall, that's what it's for. Man, you better take your kids up out of there. If you got to move to make a better decision for your child, then that's what you do. And I'll be back. You done come back.